so welcome back to my channel. I have a brand new video for you guys today, and this video is going to be the video tag that I saw Emily Noel do. It's called All About My Eyeshadow Palette Tag, the palette tag. I hope I said that correctly, so I'll put the name correctly in the description box, but it's basically picking out all your eyeshadow palettes and showing your favorites of the palettes. So let's get started with the video. But before we start, I hope you guys are all doing well in this quarantine and your family is safe, you're safe, and you guys are taking all the precautions and just being careful. So if you guys have any video ideas, suggestions, do let me know in the comment section, and do let me know how you guys enjoyed watching this video. It took me about 30-40 minutes, I'm not even gonna lie to you, to pick out the palettes that I wanted. Like, I even made a list and wrote them out. I did two picks for each because I wanted to do one high-end and one drugstore, so that if you guys want recommendations for palettes, you can like go off of what you want based on you want drugstore or high-end. So I thought that would be convenient for you guys. Made a list and wrote it out, and my husband literally was just laughing at me. He was like, what are you doing? Like, I was going through my drawers and pulling out each palette. I'm like taking it so seriously, and he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, making a palette tag video. Like, leave me alone. It's what makes me happy right now. Okay, so yeah, so I had a lot of fun doing this and I took it very seriously, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. And one more thing I do have to say is that I have decluttered a lot of my makeup, and going through these palettes made me realize, like, I gave away so many of, well, gave away some and threw some away of my palettes, that I was like thinking, okay, I had this palette to mention. When I went to go look for it, it wasn't there because I had already either thrown it away or given it away. So I was like, man, you really decluttered a lot. So I feel like I still have a lot, but compared to what I used to have, it's a lot of decluttered. So the first category is the newest palette. And so for drugstore palette is this ColourPop California Love palette. I showed this in our Christmas haul, but this is what the colors look like. Very neutral, very beautiful, couple shimmers, couple mattes, and yeah, it's just a really beautiful palette. And then the second newest palette is this one, Too Faced Gingerbread palette. This one my older sister gave one to me and one to my twinnie Nanu for Christmas, so that was our Christmas gift. And the color in this palette looks like, you guys are familiar with these colors, but they're just really gorgeous, beautiful colors. And Too Faced palettes, you guys all know they always smell like chocolate, and these ones smell like gingerbread cookies. I've already used this color, the hot pink one, and these two colors right here once when I was getting ready. Yeah, it was really cute. I really loved this palette. This category is the oldest palette, and I kind of had to cheat on this a little bit because technically it's my Naked One palette, but the thing is I kind of cheated on that a little bit because I think like 2 years ago they said Urban Decay wasn't gonna make the palette anymore. So what we did was we bought a newer version of that palette, and I replaced my first one because they weren't gonna make it anymore. So technically it's not my oldest palette, so I had to think about that. So if I think about it, technically my oldest palette is the Naked 2 palette, which came out after the Naked One palette, and the brush is still in here. I don't use the brush in here, but I've used this so much for special occasions, anniversaries, birthdays, and yeah, it's just a lovely palette. It definitely was the hype to have these Urban Decay palettes when they first came out, and you can see what, oh my god, see, two of the shadows just popped out. It's also because I think I moved so much, but yeah, they're just really beautiful colors, so you can see what the fuss is all about. My oldest palette from drugstore has to be this Coastal Scents Go Moscow palette, and I remember when we were first ordering from Coastal Scents, we wanted to kind of get like a small palette and just kind of try it out and see what the fuss was all about. And it turns out the colors are really pigmented, really beautiful, And this is one palette. I don't know why I don't think I'll ever throw this away. It's actually coincidentally what I'm wearing on my eyes right now. It's this green color right here, and then I have a little bit of the browns in my lower lash line. And yeah, it's just one palette. I don't think I could ever throw away. So the next category is the most expensive palettes. And for drugstore, I had to think about this because usually drugstore palettes are really not that expensive, right? So I actually ended up going with Morphe as a drugstore. So I don't know if that's cheating, but I think I don't consider Morphe a high-end. So I checked the price on these Morphe palettes. Each of these are $25 a piece. So and this is with no sale right now. So these are probably the most expensive drugstore palettes that I have. So I won't open them because I think I have them listed in another category. So I'll open and show it to you guys then. And for high end, again, I had to think about this because I feel like the Too Faced few of my favorite things, I think that was $65 at the time. But I don't know, maybe my math is not strong, but what I did was I took my MAC and Makeup Geek collection, and let me be very careful with this because if any of this falls on the carpet, I'm gonna be so pissed. Of course it did. Hold on. See, one fell out already. Okay, so I somehow got it opened for you guys, but this is a collection of my MAC and Makeup Geek eyeshadows, and if I remember correctly, I'm gonna consider this as a palette because I created this on my own, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Makeup Geek. I have them listed here, and for MAC I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and so if you count these, I think MAC eyeshadow single is $12 to $14 and Makeup Geek is $6 to $8. So if you add them up, I don't know, I feel like this is probably my most expensive palette. So if I'm wrong with the math, then Too Faced, a few of my favorite things, is probably my most expensive palette because I'm pretty sure that one at the time of Christmas time when it came out was like $65 if I remember correctly. So the next category is the most affordable, and that would have to be these e.l.f. Prism. I would have picked the Profusion palettes, but I gave them away. So technically now in my collection, these e.l.f. Prism ones are the cheapest. I think these are $10 a piece, and they're just really beautiful, like shimmery eyeshadows. This is the colorful one, and this is the neutral one. And these colors are so gorgeous. They apply really nicely, and it's a lot of pigmentation. And then the second would be, actually the first would be Makeup Revolution. These are $7 a piece. Look at the variety of shades you get. Like, and the pigmentation and the payoff on these are just so beautiful. I have 2 of these, so technically these are the most affordable, but yeah, see how gorgeous they are. These ones has more matte, and I love anything like burgundy and maroony, so 2 different choices. And most affordable one has to be my Lorac Go Getter palette. This one was $12 in Ulta at the time of Christmas season, and I'll never forget that because I'm like, when was a Lorac palette ever $12? Like, this is another palette, I don't think I could ever get rid of it. Like, I just love all the neutral colors, all the different color pops that you get. The payoff is really beautiful, and yeah, this is one palette I don't think I could get rid of it. Just, I don't know, I love this palette. I think the sun just went down, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up. But the next category are everyday palettes. So for drugstore, I ended up going with these Morphe palettes, and I can show them to you guys now because I want to show you guys why I would pick these as everyday palettes. The color variety options that you get in these, you don't even have to think about it. You have the perfect black, you have every color, and you can just kind of like go for whatever you're in the mood for. You have mattes, you have transition colors, you have lid colors, Like everything is just built in one, so you don't have to think about it. Like let me show you the second palette that I have. This one's a little bit more colorful, just a little bit more, but see, like you have so many options. Like these are perfect everyday palettes because you can like use those colors for like days end. And for high end, I would go with the Lorac Unzipped palette. This is my everyday palette because again, the colors are neutral, they're beautiful, they show up really well on your eyes, and you just have so many options like rose gold and neutral colors and just everything dark to build dimension and do your lower lash line with, and you have the perfect highlight colors. Like everything is just built into this perfectly for you to do your eyes as like an everyday makeup. So this would have to be my go-to everyday used palette for high-end. Next category is most colorful, and if I had my Coastal Scents palette for a drugstore, I would have shown that one, but I gave that away, so I'm stuck with other choices for drugstore. So this one's really hard because I don't feel like I have too many colorful palettes left anymore, but one that I do have currently is my Sonia Kashuk palette. See, it has beautiful greens, purples, blues, maroony, cranberry-ish colors. So it has enough color, I guess, for you to work with. Another option would be my BH Cosmetics palette. This is the Wild and Free Baked Eyeshadow Palette. I used this in my Ganesh Puja Get Ready With Me, and I remember someone commented they really liked this palette. Like, it was really cute. I think, was it Rocky? Yeah, I think she commented she really liked this. So it has greens, purples, that copperish color, olive green, blue, purple, like a lighter green color. So it's enough color in there still. So for high end, I went with the Too Faced A Few of My Favorite Things palette. This is one of my most favorite palettes like ever. You guys have seen this before, but like, see, there's a lot of color in there. There's like the beautiful greens, purples, more greens, a little bit of pinks here, blue color, cranberry color, a teal color, the beautiful emerald green, neutrals, a little bit of purple right here, more, another purple. It's just, it has enough color in here for you to like enjoy this as a colorful palette. So the next category is the smallest palette, and for that drugstore, I would have to go with this NYX one. I used to have like 2-3 of these trios, but I gave them away. This is the only one that I can't seem to give away. I love all three colors, this rust color gold and this neutral brown color. It's just so shimmery and so perfect. Like, I don't know, I don't think I could get rid of that palette. It's just beautiful, and it's very tiny, and this has to be my smallest drugstore palette right now. And then for high end, I went with my Too Faced Natural Eyes palette. Compared to all the bulky high-end palettes, this has got to be my most smallest palette, and this is what the colors look like in there. I still have the pamphlet, like it gives you instructions on how to create like more natural eyes. It's called the Glamour Guide, but yeah, this is what the colors look like. My husband gave this on my birthday one year, and so yeah, I really like this palette. Okay, I just had my husband come in here and interrupt, so I made him turn on the fan because I'm like getting hot now. But the next category is the biggest palette, and for that, drugstore wise, I had to go with these Morphe palettes again. These are the only two big palettes that I have anymore. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering the numbers on these two palettes, if you're interested for purchase, one is 35F and the other one is 35OS. And then for high end, my biggest palette has to be the Tarte High Performance Naturals palette. So this used to come with like 3 lip glosses right here, Tarte lip glosses. This is a travel case. You can take one palette and insert it inside here. Let me show you guys. You guys have seen this before. I don't really need to show it to you guys, but I will. But yeah, it's just turns into a perfect travel palette. If I can get this to open. Yeah, it just looks like this, has a mirror. And this is what the inside of the palette looks like. You guys have seen this before, but it has 4 quads in there, so you can like use these ribbons to, one second, you can use these ribbons to like pull one out if you need to, but this is like the biggest high-end one that I have. So the next category is best memory, and for me, drugstore wise, this one is an Indian brand, but I don't think this is considered high-end, but rather drugstore, but it has to be this Lakme 9 to 5 quads. These ones right here. Reason being is because when my parents went to India, we wanted them so badly and we made them hunt these down. Like, they were so rare to find in Assam, where we are from, and I know my dad struggled the most, so I consider these my high best memory because I know he worked. My mom got us one, my dad got us one, and they worked really hard to find these for us. So best memory would have to be these, hands down. And then for high end, it has to be my Urban Decay Naked One palette. Reason being is because I told you guys I don't use the brushes, but you guys have seen this palette. This is what it looks like. This was what the palette that I used in my wedding, Janu's wedding, like all the functions, everything, wedding, reception, Jurun, anything. I used this palette for our wedding. So I don't know, it just has a lot of memories. Again, this is the new replacement one, so yeah, I could never give this palette away. It just has too many memories. Category is called Worth the Hype. For drugstore, it has to be these Makeup Revolution palettes for $7. Oh my god, these are so worth the hype. Like, if you don't have these in your collection, I am begging you, go out there, get these. You won't regret them. They're just perfect palettes to have. And then hang on, let me put these down. And then for high end, I went with the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. You can't help but smell these. You always have to smell them first before you when you first open them. But I went with this chocolate bar palette. I remember when it first came out, I was like, what's the big deal about this palette? But once I got it and started using it, like, I could see like the colors are just beautiful, perfect neutral colors, and you can achieve like so many different looks with all the neutrals. And it smells awesome. Like, it still smells awesome. So I think this is why this is worth the hype. I hope the fan is not too loud for you guys, but the next category is not worth the hype. So not worth the hype, I consider BH Cosmetics drugstore, like I said. It would have to be this Missy Lynn palette. I remember when it came out, like, no offense to her, maybe I got a bad palette, I don't know. I'm not saying all her palettes are bad, but this is the only one that I've tried. I remember when this first came out, like, she did so many beautiful tutorials with this, and you can use these two as eyeshadows or blushes, highlights. And I don't know, the more and more I used this, I used to always be like, okay, like, these two colors, they don't come, these two right here, they don't come any different on your eyes. Like, they look the same, even though on the palette this looks brighter and this looks darker. On your eyelids, they don't show any different. This color is beautiful, they're beautiful, but it's like, it's nothing different from what you get in other BH cosmetic palettes. Like, I don't get what the big deal about this palette was. They're like literally any other BH cosmetic palettes that you've already owned. The bigger ones that you tend to buy. Like, I didn't find anything that unique about this palette, so I would say this was not worth the hype drugstore wise. And for high end, I would have to go with this Urban Decay Smoked palette. I have a lot of Urban Decay products, but this smoked palette, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's me, I just don't know how to do enough smoky looks, but I don't know. I mean, I enjoy using it, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy using it, but it's not something that I reach for when I think of Urban Decay. It's not something that seems that like, you know, unique or fun to use. I don't know, I don't get what the big deal is. It's okay. Like, I don't think it's like worth the hype like all the other Urban Decay palettes. The next category is favorite palette from favorite brand. So that means I had to think of my favorite brand first. So I really, for drugstore, wanted to go with Makeup Revolution because I love Makeup Revolution. But then I remembered this Revealed 2 palette from Coastal Scents. And I remember when I first got into eyeshadows, particularly, Coastal Scents was like the first brand that I think really got me interested in eyeshadows. And so this Revealed 2 palette is the one palette I could not give away. Like, I gave away all my other Coastal Scents except that Go Moscow palette in this one. But I don't know, I couldn't give this palette away. I love like all these beautiful cranberry colors, neutrals. Like, look at the top row, so many rose gold neutral options. You have the matte black in here. Like, it has everything. So I went with this. I really wanted to do Makeup Revolution for drugstore too. That is still my favorite, but if I had to pick one, for now I'm sticking with this one. Then for high end, I had to think about what my favorite brand was. So I was like trying to think, well, do I have which brand do I have too many palettes of? Technically I have equal amounts of Lorac, Too Faced, and Urban Decay, but I don't know why I went with Urban Decay. Naked 1, Naked 2, and Naked 3. Like, let me show you the 3 because I think I've shown you guys 1 and 2 already, and I'm sure you guys are familiar, but this is Naked 3 Rose Gold Edition. I don't know, these palettes I think are a classic. Like, I remember they made YouTube beauty community. The start of it was like because of these palettes, the hype of buying palettes, the hype of being interested in eyeshadows for high-end started with these palettes. And I think any person who was like stuck on watching YouTube makeup videos would agree with these palettes being like the start of something major. So yeah, I went with my 3 favorites, 1, 2, 3, Naked, Urban Decay. So for most used palette, this was really hard to pick drugstore because honestly with drugstore I tend to rotate like each palette out. So like I go 1 week at a time and I'll just use that one drugstore palette, and I don't like whatever I'm in the mood for I just grab, and like if I used it prior I skip and I move on to the next thing. So like I kind of want to feel like most used would be everything. I don't know, like I do use everything. So going on to high end, it has to be this because it comes with like your face options. You have your eyeshadows, bronzers, blush, highlight, eyeshadows, everything all packed in one. The pigmentation is great, the payoff is great. It makes your face look so smooth and so natural. If you guys watched my first video that I released on this channel, it's a Indian sari get ready with me, and you can see what my finished results were in the end of that video. I don't know, the bronzer, everything, eyeshadow, everything, I love this palette. So I would say this would be like whenever I think about getting special ready and I want to look my best, like I love this palette. So 2 additional categories that Emily Noel came up with, and she said to do those if you wanted to, was best dupe palette. And for me that would have to be these 2 Makeup Revolution palettes. These remind me of Naked 2 and Naked 3 kind of. So for me these are my best dupes, I think. So this one right here, if this does not remind you of the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette, I don't know. And then this one is the second Makeup Revolution, reminds me of Naked 3, the ones I just showed you guys. So I would say these 2 are the best dupes for these 2. Urban Decay, drugstore, Makeup Revolution. Oops, sorry, backside. But yeah, Okay, so the next category that Emily added was rediscovered palette. And okay, sorry I'm playing with my hair so much, but like trying to look cute. It's kind of hot. Got the fan going on. Probably can't see it, maybe you can hear it, but yeah. So rediscovered palettes, for me it would have to be these sleek palettes. I was going through my collection and I forgot all about these sleek palettes. Well, I wouldn't say they're the most colorful, but I was almost gonna say they're pretty colorful. But this one's a lovely sleek palette. Again, this is drugstore. I don't think this is high-end. I could be wrong. And then the other one is this palette. Oh my god, these have always been the hardest to open. But yeah, these are my two rediscovered palettes. And then the other two palettes that I think are rediscovered for me are these Sephora palettes. These are two palettes. I don't know, I don't think I'll ever give these away. I don't know why. I haven't used it much. I mean, I've used it some. You can see like these shades. But I don't know, I don't think I'll ever give these away. Hoarding onto them for what? I don't know. But yeah, I like these palettes. And then for high-end, I went with my Lorac palettes 1 and 2. These are the Lorac Pro palettes 1 and 2 again, rediscovered. Here's 1 and here's 2. Yeah, so I was like looking through these and I'm like, huh, I forgot I had these. But yeah, so I have like, I think I have like 3 to 4 of like every high-end brand, like Lorac. Too Faced, I have chocolate bar, gingerbread, a few of my favorite things. And then Urban Decay, I have the 3 naked palettes and then the smoked palette. So see, that's why it was hard for me to choose for favorite palette from favorite brand. But anyways, regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope you guys got reminded of some oldies but goodies and some hopefully new things maybe you've not heard of or seen before. So don't forget to check out Emily Noel's video. She did the tag, and then Janu's gonna do the tag also, so don't forget to check out her answers. I always have her channel linked in the description box, and both of our Instagrams are always on there as well. So don't forget to like, please, subscribe, comment, and if you have any future video ideas, let me know. We're all in this quarantine together, so I'm slowly getting like the energy, motivation to start making more videos. So let me know if you guys have anything. And thanks for watching. Thanks for giving me your time, and take care.